up, everybody? Rasatiar here in Singapore. Thank you so much for joining me on the Night Hub podcast. I really, really appreciate the fact that you keep joining in, keep tuning in. And because of the podcast, actually, I'm getting more and more people following me on Instagram and reaching out to ask questions or to book time to speak with me. I'm actually really, really grateful for all of that, mostly because now I have a better idea of what you guys need, so I can actually curate my content a little bit better and make sure I serve the general public as much as possible. So the number one complaint lately has been I am anxious. I am stuck in my thoughts. How do I get out? And to be very honest, it's not easy, and you're probably not going to like the answer at all. Because when I first had the answer and I was going through compulsive thoughts, yeah, I was ready to beat ass. Really. I was ready to beat down my brother because I did not like what he had to say at all. So for those of you who know, me and my youngest brother and I, sorry, grammatically correct, my youngest brother and I are very, very close, and he is the counsel. He is the ground that I depend on a lot of times when I hit rock bottom. So he's the one who kind of like helps me stand up and dusts me off and says, all right, you knew better. You could have done better. Let's do better from here on out. I have been in many situations where I find myself obsessed about something, just compulsively thinking, compulsively reaching for a phone, looking for someone, checking up on somebody, worried about something. And it could be a thing or a person, doesn't matter. I've been in this place a couple times in my life. Now it's not so bad because I realize when I'm being obsessive, and I can almost like changing the radio station, I can physically, consciously, purposely change what it is that I'm looking for and make sure that I don't keep going back to that same fallback rut. A lot of people don't know that though. So when I have to sit down and tell somebody, hey, you're miserable because you're choosing to be miserable, they don't like it so much. I'm not saying that you physically actually want to be miserable, but you're doing something compulsively because it reminds you or keeps you feeling close to something you've just recently lost. A lot of times it's a breakup, you guys. When somebody else breaks up with you, not when you break up with them, when they break up with you, it hurts your ego a little bit, and suddenly you go back over all the nice times, the good times. You wonder why it couldn't be like it was before. You reminisce on all the memories that you have. You go back through all the trinkets that they bought you, and you have a really tough time disengaging. But guess what? There are other things that could be taking up your attention, but you're choosing to focus here. Let me give you an example. There is something called situational blindness, okay? And I saw it beautifully illustrated in the TV series Fairly Legal. I love that TV series. It was only open for, I think it was like just 2 seasons, actually. And I was pissed that it kind of stopped, but it was great for what it was. There is a court phenomenon, like a case study, a case law situation that has to do with situational blindness, which means you walk into a room and you could have the love of your life sitting there looking like, just gorgeous, attractive. You're very, very attracted to them. You're very, very taken by the way they're appearing, their clothes they're wearing, the way they're sitting. Maybe they're being seductive. I don't know. But let's say you walk into a room, right? And they're sitting on the desk and they're looking provocatively, I can't even speak, provocatively at you, and you're taken by the way they look. But in the corner of that very same room, there could be a big clown in big fuzzy hair, big stupid looking shoes, red nose, all of that. They could be standing in the corner. And because you are so focused on the person sitting on the desk because, wow, they just look gorgeous, you will not know or notice or recognize or acknowledge that there is a freaking clown standing in the room with you. This is actually proven several times that you can be so focused on one thing that you don't notice anything else around you. And I use that example a lot because I need people to understand you have a choice on what you focus on. It's almost as if you know for a fact that the sun is going to rise every morning. You hope that you get a chance to open your eyes every morning and see the sun. But if you don't open your eyes and you focus on the darkness, obviously it's not going to seem like the sun is up and shining out your window like it always is. Same thing, if you decide that, you are obsessed with this one TV show and everything about it. Maybe it's The Witcher and you just really love, Henry Cavill. He's just so attractive and so beautiful. And you go on looking for examples of him. You go looking for pictures, captions, memes, other movies he's been in. And guess what? The algorithm is so smart that it's going to continually feed you things that you have liked before that is related to the things you've liked before until that's all you see on your feed. But if you were to change that and add something else in there, it would change the algorithm. It's really that simple. But the compulsion is what you're trying to beat. Understanding why you have the compulsion in the first place is even harder to discover. So once you're aware of the fact that you have a compulsion and that you're choosing to do this one behavior over and over and over again, then you stand a chance to fight this thing that keeps happening to you. Until then, you're like mercy of your life. Your feelings kind of just run away with you. I don't know why it's happening to me. I can't help it. I'm at the bottom of this pit. I can't get out. Because you're not focusing on the right things. You're not focusing on the things that make you happy. You're actually focusing on the things that make you miserable. So of course you feel miserable. I've had so many people throughout the course of Circuit Breaker and the MCO, right, that have been complaining about, oh my gosh, I can't seem to get out of my own way. I stay up all night. I sleep all day. I feel like crap. I don't have an appetite. Haven't worked out. Don't feel so good. I don't know why. I don't know why. But every night, without fail, you will make sure you watch TV until your eyes can't stay open anymore, and then you fall asleep. And then, of course, that's like, I don't know, 3, 4 in the morning. I can't say nothing because I did the same thing. But 3, 4 in the morning, you're watching TV, hoping at some point that you'll be able to sleep and wake up at a decent hour so you can get some stuff done. But guess what? That's not how that works. If you fall asleep at 3 or 4 in the morning, what time do you think you're going to get up? Unless you have to get up. Probably get up the other side of noon. Which means you only have the afternoon left before it's suddenly evening again. And then you're back to your same cycle. And guess what? I realized that I did not feel so great when I woke up super late because I felt crappy about the fact that I wasted half a day and didn't get some of the things that I wanted to get done. Plus, when I wake up in the afternoon, I don't actually feel energized and awake. I still kind of feel sleepy and lethargic and just generally uninspired. So I'm not going to get any more done after I wake up. I'll be lucky if I get out of bed and wash my ass. It's like that. But if you realize that this is the cycle, and that it's an endless loop because of certain parts of this cycle, you know where you can start experimenting and changing parts of the cycle. You know that if you force yourself to go to bed at an earlier time, you may not be able to fall asleep. Your minds may still be awake and wondering and you know, running a mile a minute, making lists and doing stupid shit like recounting all of your old mistakes or all of your old boyfriends and all the things that went wrong. Like you know what I mean. It just runs away with you. Right? That's part of the reason most people watch TV till late, because they don't want to be stuck with their thoughts. But imagine this. What if you change what time you woke up on purpose? What if you force yourself to wake up super early, which means you'll be tired in the morning still, but you continue and force yourself and eat on time and maybe get a workout in or something, maybe get a little bit of a nap, right? Try really hard not to. It's almost like adjusting your body for a change in time zones. You sleep with the locals, you wake up with the locals, so you can adjust a little bit faster. You could, essentially, break the compulsive cycle. Same thing with your thoughts. Let's say you went through a breakup and you're having a really tough time thinking about, or not thinking about, all the things you guys did together and all the times you spent together, because, I mean, after you've been with somebody for a little while, chances are you start rearranging your life to make sure they fit into it, right? You're going to go out of your way to make sure you run into them. You're going to make sure that you go home at the same times as they do so you can run into them. You're going to make sure that, you know, you speak to each other at a specific time because they're finally off of work and you're finally off of work and you got some time together. Maybe you go out for dates. Maybe you invite them home, whatever. You're going to make space for these people. And depending on how long you've been with them, chances are they started to take up a lot of space in your life. But when that breakup happens, depending on how it was, if it was a bad, messy breakup or what, the first thing you're going to have to do is stop compulsively checking up on them, checking in with them, calling them, texting them, communicating with them. That's the first part. But what do you do when you're not communicating with them? You're probably thinking about them. And the fact that right about now I would be calling them, and right about now they would be over here, and right about now, yeah, I know what it means. But how do you get over a breakup then? My number one piece of advice for most people is find a bunch of people. I'm not saying one, find like 3 to 5 people that you can ask to help you with this. As in, hey, I just went through a breakup. I need your help a little bit for a little while. Do you mind if I call you every now and again? Now, one person who's taken up most of your life, right? Space in your life, integrated into your life. If you break up all that time that they took up among 3 to 5 people, no one person is going to feel like, oh my gosh, you're a burden, right? Because the last thing you need is to take one person, you've broken up with them, move them out of your life, move one other person in there to take up that space, and suddenly they become your everything, and they stand a chance of wanting to run like the wind because it's too much for them to handle. Now, 3 to 5 people, you spread that over, not so bad, right? And it means you don't learn to depend on one other person again. You kind of spread the need a little bit. But that also means that if you call one person and they're not available, you have 4 other people on your phone tree to call. You can spread it out a little bit. You need to find a way to change the things that remind you of that person you broke up with, which means all your little trinkets and stuff, you probably need to put them away a little while until the sight of it doesn't upset you anymore. All of your electronics that you bought together, fridge magnets, gaming systems, I don't know, necklaces, pictures, I don't know. It could be stuff that you've collected over the years or however long you've been together. You need to put them away. For me, when I go through a situation where I'm really needing to, I feel stuck. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like where I am. I'm having a really tough time kind of focusing and getting to the next level in my life. I need to reorganize. I will go through and reorganize my life, rearrange furniture, redecorate stuff so I feel better about the space that I'm in. And suddenly it's like you refresh the energy in your house. I like that. A lot of people will take sage and burn it, or they will use crystals or whatever. I'm one of those. Physically, I need to change the layout of the furniture in my room, or I need to change the sheets or the vision boards or the posters or whatever I created. I need to do those things. I feel better about them. Those are little things you can do in your life because you need to be physically busy doing something so that you're not emotionally caught up in your thoughts. That's how I break compulsion. This is how I break out of something that is like really, really obsessive, addictive. It makes me feel some kind of way, but it's not really a feeling that I want, but I find myself in that feeling a lot. It's how anxiety disorders sometimes work. It's how depression kind of develops over time. You don't stop the compulsion and suddenly you are so deep in this thing, you don't know how to get out. So it starts with small things that feel good to you. Find who you are again. Find your worth outside of this person. Because I'm telling you, a person does not give you worth. A person does not build you up and make you special all of a sudden. You've been special all along. If they can't see that, well, shit, that's on them. But you don't suddenly stop existing because they have moved on somewhere else. Let's flip the table for a second. If you broke up with somebody because you were tired of the way they treated you, you were tired of the way that they pushed you around and stuff, and you were mad enough to get up and do something about it, you walked away. It's because you knew you were worth more. It's because you knew you deserved more. Another thing I like to remind my clients is, guess what? People aren't doing things against you. They're not here, plotting revenge, to put you in your place and to teach you a lesson. It's not like that. They're doing whatever they can to make themselves feel better. They are for themselves. They're not against you. And once you get that, once you understand that concept, you suddenly realize, oh shit. It's not about how I was or who I was or if I was enough. They didn't feel good enough, so they walked away. They didn't enjoy themselves, so they walked away. Which means something did not work in the relationship. It's almost like a faulty fuse. It doesn't work really well. You try to change it out and it still doesn't work. You know what? You're going to replace. You're going to walk away. You're going to move. You're going to change something. Them walking away does not diminish who you are. Them walking away does not suddenly mean that you're defective and can't get another relationship to save your life. That's not how that works. Trust me. That is not how that works. But I need you to understand that this could be why you get stuck. Because you're choosing to start remembering all the things that hurt you in the first place. Maybe it's because you want to understand better. Maybe it's because you feel like, oh my gosh, if I just, let me recant all this stuff and really remember all the things that went wrong, because somewhere in there is the answer to why they don't like me. But I want to know, do you really need to know why they don't like you? Or do you need to know that they don't like you at the moment so you can carry on with your life? Do you really need to dissect why they don't like you? Because out of 7 billion people on the planet, one person didn't like you. And that's ruining your whole day. It's changing your trajectory completely. It's running you off course. I want you to know that you can take back power. You need to recognize the fact that you're obsessively thinking about something that does not serve you. It does not help you. It does not make you happy at all. I'm pretty sure it doesn't make you happy. It wouldn't make me happy. And once you realize that that's what you're doing, there are some things you can do to take back some of that power, to fill up some of that space that seems to be so deafening all of a sudden. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to be stuck in your thoughts forever. Sometimes you need a lifeline. Sometimes you need to reach out and ask somebody, hey, am I being crazy? Am I doing this to myself? Am I stuck actually? Do you think I'm stuck? Am I actually stuck? Because usually you're not. It's your thoughts that create your reality. So if you need help refocusing your thoughts, reach out and ask somebody for help. Breakups and grieving change are not meant to be easy, but they are doable. People have done them forever. They've gotten through these things forever. I just need you to understand that your worth is not tied to any one person. Your worth comes from you and how good you feel about the things that you get to do on a daily basis. A job that makes you feel important, you feel worthy. And if the job suddenly makes you feel unimportant, you will find a way to get out of that job and find a new one. That's okay. That's progress. That's maturity. You realize something no longer fits and you are okay to let it go. Most times, though, the obsessive compulsive thoughts, the depressive, anxious thoughts, come from the fact that you're not ready to let go yet. And most times it's because you weren't allowed to let go on your own terms. It was put upon you. So I covered a lot today. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. If I pissed you off, let me know too. I want to know. But in the meantime, you guys, anything that changes in your life, you can handle. You were built to handle. But you got to believe that first. I hope this helped. I love you guys.